Hello and welcome to the Motorcycle Report. My name's Ryan, and if you're like me, you want to know all there is to know about the past, present, and future of the motorcycle world. For today's report, I'd like to talk about the Indiana Jones motorcycles. This is another report I've written down, and here it is. Who doesn't like the Indiana Jones movies? Well, hopefully no one, because they were all great in their own right. Wait a minute. I believe Spielberg did apologize at one point for creating that last one. That thing about the crystal skulls. Way too much CGI yuck and a story that was really reaching. Oh yeah, and let's not forget that weird dinner scene in the Temple of Doom. I still skip it whenever I go back to watch the movie. Okay, so Raiders of the Lost Ark was a true masterpiece. The Last Crusade was great. Temple of Doom could be fun. The Crystal Skull was so-so. Fictional history has Indiana Jones being a motorcycle courier during the Battle of Verdun in World War I. An interesting story for another day. But for this report, let's talk about the motorcycles that are seen in the movies. In the Raiders of the Lost Ark, while driving a big truck with the Ark resting in the back, Indiana knocks a motorcycle with sidecar into a pond. This was meant to be, for historical purposes, a BMW R75 with sidecar or similar type. But since it would have been foolish to treat such a classic with such disrespect, the filmmakers used a more recently built Knepper, spelled D-N-E-P-R, MT-11. This was the same type of motorcycle used in The Last Crusade. Henry Jones, both junior and senior, used a Knepper MT-11, D-N-E-P-R, MT-11, right? Maybe somebody can write in the comments, how do you pronounce that? The Knepper MT-11 pretending to be a BMW R75 to escape from Castle Brunwald and the Nazis at the Austrian-German border. A note of the BMW R75 motorcycle with sidecar combination. It has a 745cc flat twin overhead valve engine. It has 26 horsepower and weighs 930 pounds. Its main production was from 1941 to 1946, and it did contribute greatly to transportation during World War II. Earlier models were produced in the 1930s. Add in fuel and 2 grown men, and that puts it well over 1,200 pounds in total weight. That's a lot of work for a 745cc engine. Obviously, it managed just fine. A note of comparison with the Knepper MT-11 is that it has a 650cc engine, 32 horsepower, which is 6 more horses than the BMW, and weighs about 150 pounds less. Most of us have heard of BMW, but maybe not as many have heard of Knepper, D-N-E-P-R. They are a Ukrainian company, and they chose to use many elements of BMW's R motorcycle with sidecar creation. The company has been making motorcycles since 1967. This has diminished some since the fall of the USSR, but the company still exists. So what about the Harley-Davidson that Mutt Williams, a character played by Shia LaBeouf, rode in The Crystal Skull? Well, if you care to know, he was made up to look similar to Marlon Brando from the classic movie The Wild One, for nostalgia purposes. This included a V-neck leather jacket and soft crown cap. He is, quote, unquote, Indy Sun in the movie. Heavy emphasis on the quotes, man. Yeah. The motorcycle was a 2006 Harley-Davidson Softail Springer Classic. The movie was set in 1957, a time when Harley-Davidson had created only a few motorcycles that did not have a rigid frame, meaning a bicycle-type frame without the cushion benefit of shocks while riding. The modern Softail Springer Classic was created by HD to give the appearance of a motorcycle from years ago by hiding the shocks out of view. A perfect fit for the movie. That, along with the help of motorcycle builder Justin Kell, who added 30 horsepower and reduced the weight by 77 pounds. However, take a closer look at the front and rear brake systems of the bike, and you'll see that it has disc brakes, something that had yet to be invented at the time in 1957. A note on the 2006 Harley-Davidson Softail Springer Classic. It has a 1450cc engine displacement. It has a pushrod 4-stroke V-twin engine. It weighs 710 pounds dry and has 63 horsepower. Shouldn't Indiana Jones be the one riding this motorcycle instead of just being a passenger? The Indiana Jones on the back of a motorcycle just doesn't work for me. That ends this report. If you enjoyed this video and like to hear more, go ahead and click the subscribe button. And, as always, I'll talk to you soon.